What's going on, everybody, for USA Muay Thai? My name's Nate Freeman. I'm joined today by the 2022 World Games gold medalist and someone who just made her professional debut a couple weeks ago, Charlsey Manor. Charlsey, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good to see you again, Nate. Thanks for
Good to
having
see you
me.
again, too. Yeah. Um, so, like I mentioned, you just made your pro debut a couple of weeks ago in Thailand. You were originally supposed to make your pro debut in your home state against a MMA veteran in Claudia Zamora, and that fell through. So, talk to me a little bit about how you went from going from a fight in your home state to going all the way to Thailand for, from what it looks like, just a massive event.
Yeah, it was a massive event, but it's really kind of crazy how it all worked out. I mean, yeah, the fight that I was supposed to have in my hometown, I had three opponents fall through, and the last one falling through on the day of weigh-ins at like 3 o'clock in the morning. She just had a tough weight cut, and I mean, yeah, it just didn't really go well for her. And I know like no one won in that situation, and it's definitely not how I wanted it to happen for sure. But it really did, I think, work out for the best because, then turn around and it's like, I think it was less than 2 weeks later, my coach is like, hey, I have a really cool opportunity for you in Thailand if you want to go. It was 2 days before Thanksgiving. The whole thing was so last minute, but we were just like, we were going to figure it out because it was such an amazing opportunity, to fight for the King's Cup. I mean, it's a super prestigious event in Thailand. So, I mean, to have that opportunity was just insane. So I couldn't say no to it. And it was, so we like fly to Thailand and then I have no clue who I'm fighting and then find out who I'm fighting like 2 days before the fight. So, which is apparently a very common thing in Thailand, to just show up and not really have an idea of who you're fighting. But yeah, the event was it was definitely the biggest event I've ever fought for. It was, it was just crazy. There were so many people and, to be surrounded by athletes of that level, it was an incredible experience for sure. And I just feel super lucky to have been a part of it.
Absolutely. And for those that don't know, can you sort of explain what the King's Cup event is? Because I know it has some other meaning other than being a massive Muay Thai event.
Yeah. So the King's Cup, every year for the King's birthday, they put on a big Muay Thai show where they have, Thais fight and then they invite athletes from all over the world to come and fight. So there were 10 fights that happened. And so even though the King's not there, it's in honor of his birthday and it's a huge event that they put on every year. And this was actually the first year that they had both a King's Cup and a Queen's Cup. So it's basically a trophy donated by the King and Queen. The King donates one, the Queen donated one this year for the pretty much like the most outstanding fight among the fights that night. So it was really cool to be a part of the first event where they were having both a King's Cup and a Queen's Cup to be given out to the fighters. But yeah, it's in honor of his birthday and they do it every year and it's a huge, huge event. It's a national holiday for the country. So everyone's off work, out of school. So, and the event was free to all Thais because, it's a national holiday and it was broadcasted on TV there. It was crazy.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And you were awarded the most outstanding fighter of the event, correct?
I was awarded the Queen's Cup, which was crazy and unexpected. But I mean, yeah, I really wasn't expecting it, but it was a huge honor, and it was, I'm just super grateful to have been a part of it, and for that to be the first one, because they're trying to promote gender equality and women in the sport. So to have received that was a huge, huge honor.
Absolutely. And I think you more than earned it. You scored just a very impressive head kick knockout over a very
Thank
experienced
you.
opponent.
Thank
You were up 2 rounds and you just kept putting on the volume, putting on the pressure, and you just landed that head kick. And she, it was a face plant KO, which is some of the most vicious kinds of KOs. So talk to me about the fight itself and maybe some things that you saw that led to that knockout.
Yeah, so honestly, I'm normally pretty calm, before fights and stuff like that, and I'm pretty good at, kind of just keeping myself in check and, just being calm and keeping the game plan in mind and stuff like that. But there were a lot of contributing factors going into this fight. So I would say, for the first and second rounds, I was a little disappointed in my performance, honestly, because I knew we had a game plan set, and I don't believe that I was executing that game plan to the best of my ability. And so going into the third round, I had no idea how close the fight was. I knew she had landed an elbow earlier in the fight, and my eye was swollen. And so if the
Looks
fight
like
was
you
really
still got a
close,
little bit of
I
residual
do.
stuff from that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. But yeah, she landed a really nice elbow. My eye was swollen, like almost completely shut, like early in the fight. And, if it's a close fight, then sometimes they'll weigh, who is the more damaged fighter. So my coach told me in between rounds 2 and 3, he's like, "What are you doing? Like, you got to finish this fight." He's like, "We got to throw more body kicks. We got to throw more head hooks. You need to commit. You need to finish this fight." And I was like, okay. And then, with a little bit of luck on my side and, those words in my head, I threw that head hook. And then I knew that she kept her hands pretty low, and it just happened to be at the right time. And my leg, it sort of like the kick hit her hand and then her hand hit her chin. So it was like sort of like a double impact maybe. And that's what really solidified the knockout. But yeah, it was just good timing. And we did know that she tended to fight with her hands a little bit low. So, it was just a matter of me committing to it and it being, a well-timed kick, because you can throw a head kick and people can eat it and like it doesn't phase people, but it only takes one to hit at that right spot. And I was fortunate enough that it did.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was a beautiful display of martial arts, beautiful
Thank
display of
you.
Muay Thai. Um, I'm curious because I've noticed a few times where um, one athlete in a fight does their Y crew like way longer than the other.
Yeah.
And I noticed hers was
So long.
incredibly long.
Yeah.
And I'm still new to the sport, and I'm curious if that's meant to be like sort of a mental sort of gamesmanship type thing to where you're making the other fighter wait and wait and wait.
Yeah.
What was your mind like when she was just continuing her Y crew for like minutes
Yeah.
and minutes?
Well, I already feel like my Y crew is pretty long, and then hers was like double my Y crew. So that was a first for me. But I have a lot of respect for it. I mean, she did it beautifully. And really the Y crew is just to honor like the lineage of the sport. My crew learned his Y crew from his crew, and it's just been passed down from the next to the next to the next. And so each one is similar, but they're not alike. So it was really cool to see, her, you know, take that time to honor, what her crew has taught her, through doing that Y crew. But I do also think there is a mental aspect to it because, yeah, I mean, where you're standing there and you're ready to go and, it's just waiting and watching. But it is cool to see. I really respect, the tradition and the history of the sport of Muay Thai. I think that's one of the things that makes it, in my opinion, the best martial art. So, it was really cool to see, her Y crew, and she did take her time and she executed it beautifully. So it was honestly cool to see.
Yeah. So then let's go ahead and talk about what's next for you. I know that there's some things with US Muay Thai coming up. I don't know if you're maybe planning on getting another fight in before the national championships come up or what, but just go ahead and talk about what is on the horizon for you.
Yeah. So so before this, before Bangkok, I was kind of coming off of a long break which wasn't really by choice. It just happened to work out that way. Sometimes you're really busy, sometimes you're not. So I really want to stay busy. I have several things in progress for starting off in January, but nothing's confirmed. So I'm not going to say it because I don't want to put it out there yet. But hopefully something will be happening in January. And then the fight that fell through in my hometown for the Southeast Championship is confirmed for February in Greer, South Carolina. So I will be fighting Chantal Perry. She also fought in the qualifier, super well-established fighter. So we'll be the main event on that hometown show. So I'm really excited about that. I hope, a lot of people can come out, and, I know it'll be a great fight. So I'm excited about that. And then, in March, I'm planning to go fly out to Colorado for the qualifiers for the adult Muay Thai championships. And then if I hopefully win that, then I'll be in Bangkok in May. So that's the plan right now.
Yeah. So going back to Thailand, I know that you this was your first year being on the IFMA team and all of that. Was this your first time going to Thailand? I know that's
Yeah, it
sort
was
of the
actually
mecca
my
for.
first time ever leaving the States.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I'd never been international. The farthest I'd ever been before was Arizona, and that was for the US Muay Thai Open that I did a while back. So yeah, the travel was really, really tough for sure because I was cutting weight, so I couldn't eat on the flights, was having to be super careful about, everything that I was consuming. And then, so from door to door, it was 30 hours of travel time.
Oh,
And
goodness.
yeah, which was crazy. And they're completely a full 12 hours ahead of us. So, on the way there, we pretty much lost a day, which was crazy it made you feel a little crazy. And then on top of still having to train hard and, get ready for the fight. I mean, yeah, that was mentally draining for me for sure. But I mean, I would, I wouldn't take it back, of course. But yeah, it was hard.
And did you get the chance to do any, not necessarily touristy things, but maybe train at some of the world-renowned gyms, or have some of the excellent food that I've heard about in
Oh my
Thailand, or
gosh.
anything like that?
Yes, both. Oh, it was, I mean, such just humbling and enlightening really experience, because you hear about people who live, and Muay Thai is their way of life, but hearing about it and seeing it is just, they can't compare. We did train at this one gym. It was called Deseret Gym, really small gym. They had, I think about 8 fighters, and a cool thing, I won the Queen's Cup, and then a guy who trained at that gym where we trained at Deseret Gym, he won the King's Cup. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, we trained there, really, really small gym. And, these guys, their whole life is Muay Thai. They live at the gym, they eat at the gym, they never leave the gym. They wake up, they train, they eat, they sleep, and they wake up and they train again, and I do some version of that, but it's all that for me is by choice. And for them, they were just born into it and they've never known another way of life. So it was very humbling to see that and to get to be a part of it. And they of course, we're just to them a tourist, but it was so nice of them to welcome us into their gym and to even let us train there for the short time that we did train there. So yeah, that was pretty awesome to be a part of. I would love to go back and be able to stay longer and really get to experience that, to the fullest extent. But yeah, and then the food was just, I can't even express how good the food was. I mean, seafood is my favorite kind of food. So we went to several different markets, and one of them was a seafood market, and the local fishermen have what they caught, fresh on these carts, and you can pick out what you want and they cook it right then and there in front of you. We had the best lobster I've ever had in my whole life. And then, I mean, it was just it was insane.
Oh man,
So I wish I could tell you how good it was, but I can't.
you've got to go to try it from what I've
Yeah,
heard.
you
Yeah,
definitely
it's
do.
yeah, and it's the mecca of Muay Thai. Everybody who is anybody in Muay Thai just has to go there, from what I've heard.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. I mean, Muay Thai around here, especially in the South, I mean, it's on the come up, but it's, people still don't know what it is, or, they think they're like, oh, is that the UFC? And, people just don't know. It's not that big of a thing yet around here. But in Thailand, I mean, it's the only thing, I mean, you're driving down the road and they've got billboards of bull cow, and it's on every building, every corner. There's like a gym or something. There's people selling shorts, gear. I mean, it's everywhere. And it was so crazy to just like, to know, to be in the South where people are like, is it Muay Thai? And then to go to Thailand and see the other end of that spectrum. It was cool.
it'd be like the Thais coming to um, see American football, and they're like,
Right.
What is this?" Yeah,
Yes, right.
yeah, it's crazy. So, before I let you go, I want to give you the floor to do any shout outs, any ways that people can follow you on social media. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you. I mean, I have a pretty amazing support, system behind me. I mean, that make this possible. I mean, we planned the trip in a matter of days, and my gym, the UFC gym in Greenville, I mean, they're so supportive, and do everything they can to help us like be able to make trips like that possible. And I just, I'm so grateful for all of them. My coach, Mark Clem with Muay Thai South. I mean, it's pretty cool that he was like, he got me the opportunity, and then he was also, down to go. And I mean, not a lot of coaches would be that invested, in their fighters. So to have that is pretty amazing. And then, my team and my family and all of them who are like rooting for me and, pushing me to keep going, to see how far we can go with this. And I'm, I say it all the time, but I am so humbled, to have so many people around me who support me and, support my dreams and, want to see where it leads me. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone.
It's been a great year for Charlsey Manor. She won the U.S. qualifiers. She then went on to win the U.S. or the World Games 2022, and now she's won her professional debut at the Kings and Queens Cup in Thailand. And who knows what the future holds for her in 2023? We'll just have to wait and see. But Charlsey, thank you so much for your time today, and best of luck in the coming year.
Thank you so much, Nate. It was a pleasure talking to you.
It was great talking to you too. All right.